It's March 22nd, 2024. I'm in this. Benjamin Franklin has the Independence Hall on the back. Jackson with the White House. And it's, I think they have, it's Washington with the ONE on the back, with the In God We Trust on every piece of that legal tender. Um, I went with my father today over the bridge and to a different area, a different county inside of New York State, still part of the United States of America. Um, and my father, we went to a place called Nyack. Now, I have some personal concerns being that I took photos. My father, first of all, the municipality of Nyack, whoever, I don't know who the principality is, but whoever the municipality is, they have done such a beautiful job of property maintenance, whomever they are. Their sidewalks are clean, their planter boxes are clean, the historic detail on the facades of the building look like somebody is really taking with loving care. There is some kind of caretaker in this one town that did extremely well. So my father and I then get out of the vehicle because we have to do public parking, which means it's street parking. And he gets out of the vehicle, and in our section of the United States of America. Actually, I have to get a coin. The meter system for public parking for my entire life until just recently was a quarter. It has a bird on the back of the quarter. It was always, the meters always took quarters. It's a pain in the neck, but it's part of being American. It's part of our traditional system. For some reason, now, my father had to take out his iPhone, which I don't have. He had to download an app from the App Store. And then, so now this app, which I don't know what children from elsewhere and what cryptocurrency it's accepting and extrapolating, but it concerns me because it's bypassing the US currency and coined system. The machines have been all replaced up and down the streets. And now it's using some kind of electronic wallet, um, which goes to a bigger existential system of I'm trying to like use or if this person, I don't know if she's excommunicated or not. I don't even really know what that means. I don't even know if that's even important these days. But whomever this person is wrote some kind of book on, it says, The Quest to Understand the Zombies of the Cosmos. Just so I can get like in here, it speaks of the ego being the European Galactic Organization. So like there's words in here that I find really helpful, especially since NASA has made some kind of announcement about the possibility of a quasar, and I had to look that up, and then some new star formation. And so I showed Lewis the photograph from the television that I had discovered, both on the quasar. I also showed him on the Dear John the relative media, just artwork of how like they described it at relative media. And then we were trying, just the two of us, to postulate how to position the conversation of what qualifies as metaphysics, possibly, and what qualifies as the physical. And then, but based on his level of education, which I'm trying to like siphon from him some, since I'm his only child and I'm left, I like with a 5, 15, 15, which is an insult to my level of intelligence and for which I disagree with the entire whatever. Um, so there's this whatever and the whatever, whatever, whatever. But he and I are trying to have this conversation because I'm like, well, so does that mean that the television hung on the wall is metaphysics? And he had some way of explaining it to me. And then I'm like, oh, no, that's an interesting way. Because again, I really, from if I had somebody respectable, if I had the arm of somebody respectable, I know he's already like valued member of his society and club and whatever, but I don't have that level of respect in North America at the moment for, I don't know why I keep getting disrespected. Um but it keeps getting worse. And so my mother tells me today, um so we're speaking, him and I are in the car trying to discuss this because it feels like all of these electronic source moving away from the paper currency, moving to electronic currency. If they had to create this new star formation, which they have the picture of the solar sun, and then they have a ring which looks like almost like the rings of Saturn, and then they have this new star formation in this like static weight of some other kind of science. And I'm like, well, now theoretically, just because here's a picture of it in some abstract form, I was like, it's, and then NASA put out something about an infrared glaze. And I'm like, here's this quasi conversation between you and I, Father, who I love dearly. And only you would really understand this because you are an artist by heart, as was your father before you. And some serious stuff is going on. So I'm trying to discuss with him just about the science of if a quasar exists at some really frightening level of like, because we're going over the bridge and we are admiring the bridge and the design of the architect and how it looks like strings on the inside of a piano and how it must hold the weight and weather any kind of storm and geological whatever, and just a marvel of man making like this piece of landscape art. I mean, like, we're going through the whole marvel between he and I and the appreciation of all of the participants in the area, no matter what walk of life they were blessed with, and and the ease of getting from Queens and the island to upstate and the connectivity of it. So not having to use ferry boat. So there's that, um just for the bridges of Madison County, so they don't get confused of my appreciation of who they are in their chosen life profession and my absolute missing being amongst their expertise my entire existence. Um, and so there's that, and then there's this possibility. So Lewis looks over at the Manhattan skyline and he's like, man, he goes, I seriously hope that this craziness in the world never gets to the whatever of like a nuclear, like it would level Manhattan. And I'm like, I'm not even at that level of concern anymore, Lewis. I was like, I'm at, like, if quasar really exists and if it's raining like nuclear level, like cold fusion, just so we can have this appearance of mobile connectivity on like instantaneous rather than having the inconvenience of having to go to a wall phone or even a pay phone with a quarter, like the old professional surveillance teams when it was like the cops and the robbers, and you either had the feds or you had the mafia. I mean, like it was like the good old movies when Al Pacino was like the guy. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, he's such a badass!" Like my dad's not like him. Like, or my dad is like, yeah, whoever, whatever. But like the good old days until they went to like, and then and I'm like, so I'm like, and then he's like, well, what do you mean about? And because we had spoken about quasar, and then I showed him the new artwork that NASA put out the other night about this possibility of new star formation that they call, I think, a blaze or a blade, something like that. And I'm just like, that's right there is where I'm cryptocurrency. If that's like the cold fusion that they channel, they had to open up to have so many pathways of crypto in order to, like, if that's causing us radiological harm at this like concerning 5G level, Lewis, I was like, that's my level of alarm and concern at the moment for like, where's the institution of family on why are we having seasonal outages in the gardening and seedling department? Why does it look like the not us has moved in heavy quantity, and like they're radioactively like pursuing their seedlings and trying to destroy our monetary institution? I'm like, in the US dollar category, I'm like, Louis, what is going on? And he has no answers for me because whatever. And so that happened. Then, and by the way, this month for Scout Magazine is this, because I have whatever and the whatever, and this is still the Queen's property. We're still a 26 letter, what they call English alphabet, although it's North American to me. I think Canada uses the same alphabet or script. And they're now in this district, which is 26 in New York City, which is that's the symbolic gesture. They sent an email to my mom, and it says, introducing our first District 26 workshop series for Spanish speaking parents. And then it has stuff in Spanish, not just in English anymore. Then at the bottom of the Spanish flyer, it also speaks of Chinese, Spanish, and Korean. Now, I went to SLT the other night, and then they have these cryptic letters for which I don't know how to read that kind of stuff. There's another one like this. Like, and again, if there's like a party inside of a party system, how do I know if these are the safe parties for my family? How do I know if these are the not safe? Like, how do I keep up on that level of communication when I've been pretty much cut off from the entire system? Um, and I only speak 26 letter alphabet. Um, so that's concerning. While we were out, my father got a text message. His phone went off, and he got a text message about Princess Kate in London was diagnosed with cancer. And my phone did not go off. I did not have an alert. Again, I use a Galaxy, but my Galaxy does not alert me to such news for some reason. I don't know what the back end of the Galaxy is that I'm using. Um, so I am just, and something happened in Russia today with, they're saying it's ISIS. I don't know. Um, but I like, and that was on like a CNN. So I don't know. But I'm concerned about the cryptocurrency. I'm concerned about this quasar possibility. I'm concerned about this new star formation, which they're calling a blaze or a blade. If that's what 5G looks like in a sun to, like a solar sun to a way of speaking of this abstract science that they call telephonics, or some kind of extra energy grid that then they're using mobile technology off of, but at such high quantifiers or multipliers that it's then endangering the health and the physiology of the human. That's concerning me. How, as a, I mean, like, I'm in the United States of America. I have rights as a woman for free speech, and, but, like, I, again, am respectful in the sense of, I don't know within the interior of the family, but, like, again, this is not the life I chose, but I'm choosing to exercise this right in the sense of the "In God We Trust" and the "We the People" and the constitutionality of the USS something or other. And it's just, um, I'm just there's a lot of concerning grabs for credits, for sciences, for information. But I'm in North America. So am I to exist only here in the God to ONE to the TWO relationship for North America? Um, Not knowing what or how the envelope of the, like, security apparatus is, whatever. Um, I definitely do not know how to monetize or capitalize on any of my findings. It has not been presented to me in any of the series of rooms I'm in. I do remember, but again, that's like the conscious awareness of, like, object permanence for the conversation of a higher level of scientific. I do remember being in some moment, however I got there, I can't verbalize, but I was in a moment where I was communicating with someone who said that there's a healthy range of insulin, and they're monitoring the healthy range of insulin for my RH sensitivity always. And when it goes too high or it goes too low, it sends off, and I don't know the word for it. Do we say concerning markers or marks for the has a special task force mark? Like, I don't know the right verbiage for that. She would be better off, and it was a she, would be better off, but she was in charge for certain of watching certain RH sensitive children who wanted to be mothers over their life for the whatever, and the whatever for the family, I guess, in the larger broad stroke of it, for watching if our insulin was being inhibited or if we were having trouble. Because it's, Tiafreo brought to my attention some article he was reading about Alzheimer's could possibly be like the third diabetes stage. Like a precursor to that is these fluctuations in insulin, for which, again, I don't know the food supplier or the chain of command for that, who they're using, um, if and when they stay within the 26 letter alphabet. Um, so while it feels like, because right now the sun has set, but being under almost that x-ray light, it feels like who, um they're watching the insulin sensitivity of it, but I'm not getting like any phone calls on it. And the doctors I have access are not speaking at that level to me. They have not said diabetes 1, diabetes 2, or diabetes 3. I don't even, if they're watching my insulin from their level, I would not know about it because nobody's had that conversation with me. But these are just like in the communication loops of things. Where am I running into trouble while things like the communications are coming in Chinese, Korean, and Spanish? English still exists. It is on the currency of Independence Hall and the In God We Trust, but it is in New York City in the year 2024. I don't know by what method some other scripts have shown up, and I don't know by what method or how, um, for having a standard level of communication. Um, but the fact that they're trying to knock out or undercut the monetary system or the currency system that is institutionalized, being whomever is included in the genetic brand of these persons, and that very real bloodline, for RH sensitivity. Um, I am there's some precursors of concern that are actively taking place, and I don't have, because of the misdirection going into my having children, um, with not getting to the correct introduction to the correct person at the correct level, and being almost like trapped amongst a, something I was not built for. Um, I'm just trying to get to the correct level of communication, for which I don't know where that exists, because it seems like there's a few different genetic variations that are in New York at the same time of this quasar discovery, um, of this cryptocurrency, of this complete meltdown of robotics and technology to like dangerous levels, or a perceived dangerous level. And I'm I haven't been included in like a level of academia at a level that like the 1930s or 40s would expect me to find a principled man in order to speak with. Like, again, they allowed me to have one Port Jefferson evening, but I had not made any discovery at that point, to speak to the principal, the science principal that they supplied for one night. And that was back in, I think, like 2009. Um, and now I don't know a principal. I mean, there's the New York City principal, but he's, again, I'm just concerned about RH sensitivities, because, again, I don't know principality and who the taxing authority is and how war chests are built. Like, I'm out of all of that conversation. I have no direct link in. Niklaus has been gone since 98, I think, is when he left. And I haven't seen him since. So, and if I did see him, I don't even know if visually I could recognize him, with the insulin having been so erratic over the last few decades. I mean, um I could see the toll it's taken on my genetic appearance, not for, like, again, it's um again, it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole C. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken. So Lewis and I finally had that conversation. He's planning to take me up to Boston, um, to go see somebody that he knows. Um, so it'll be nice to ride on Amtrak. I haven't ridden on Amtrak since I was a young girl, when we met the relatives from other parts of the United States of America. Um, when I was with, I think I was with the deans, who are like the smartest people I've ever met. The only Americans I've ever met that have like a level of education that I could admire. Um, I never got to that level of education myself, but they were extremely blessed by America as far as education goes. Um, it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cataruzza.